In episode 14 of Running the London Vale Map, it's a third and final day of running Great Northern, as today we explore the Hartford Loop. Let's get into it. That's right, today is the last day running Great Northern. The next time we'll start running a brand new rail operator on the London Vale Map. So today on the Great Northern Network we're running the Hartford Loop. Well, most of it. I'm running up to as far as Hartford North from Alexandra Palace, which is a total distance of nearly 36 kilometres. You see, if I was to run the whole Hartford Loop up to Watton and Stone and Stevenage, the run would be well over 50k, and I really don't fancy running that far. At least, not just yet, anyway. However, for those unfamiliar, let's quickly break down the Hartford Loop. So the Hartford Loop is a section of railway that runs from Alexandra Palace to Stevenage via Hartford North. It was built as a relief line for what we know today as the East Coast Main Line. Back in the early 1900s, capacity on the East Coast Main Line around London was already close to its limits, and railway companies wanted to avoid the costly measure, particularly at Digswell Viaduct, to increase the number of lines from 2 lines to 4. So a case was brought forward to introduce a relief line. However, it wasn't initially all built in one go, and we'll find out why that was later on. Anyway, with all that aside, let's see how I'm going as I'm running the Hartford Loop. Well, most of the Hartford Loop. You know what I mean. So I've just made it to Bowes Road Station. You know, this actually has an out-of-station interchange between here and Bounds Green Station on the Piccadilly line. But what's also unique about this station in particular is that on the Hartford Loop, this is the only station that has an island platform. So the more we know. Anyway, right, we've got 32.8 kilometres remaining, so I've got a long way to go, so let us keep it moving. Now this beautiful path that I'm running along now is the New River Path, but where exactly did it get that name from? So the New River Path is a long-distance 45-kilometre route that follows the river between Hertfordshire and London. But did you know that the river itself is neither new, nor is it even a river? It is in fact a water supply aqueduct built in 1613 to supply water from its springs in Hertfordshire into London. And we've made it to Palmer's Green Station. You know, just coming to the pedestrian bridge on the opposite side of the station, you get a fantastic view of Alexandra Palace. It's looking straight down the railway line. It's a lovely day for this as well. 30.9k remaining. And just like that, we find ourselves back along the New River Path. We've got Changeslave and Winchmore Hill, but we've got 28.3 kilometres remaining. That's it. Oh no, I was just doing a video, sorry. I'm running to all the different railway stations in London, so I'm here at the lovely Grange Bar. Thank you anyway though, it's much appreciated. Maybe I'll get lost a bit later. We'll see. Thank you very much, thank you. Alright, so here we are at Grange Park, so we've got 27 kilometres remaining. You know, at Grange Park, it was actually the newest station that had opened on the Hartford Loop, and in fact it actually opened the same time as the Enfield branch extension. What's the Enfield branch extension? If you were paying attention at the beginning, you'll have noticed I said to introduce a relief line. However, it wasn't initially all built in one go. Prior to the Hartford Loop, there was the Enfield branch line, which terminated at Enfield. Would you believe? When plans were in motion to introduce a relief line, the line was extended from Enfield to Cuffley in 1910 via a new Enfield Chase station. It eventually connected with Stevenage in 1924 once World War I had subsided. Once the line opened to Cuffley, the original Enfield station closed and is now demolished. Looking from above, you can still follow where the original route used to go. Speaking of things that have changed, I've just come round the corner from Enfield Chase station. I come to Gresham Close, which was the former Station Road. Now, there used to be an underpass here, so I used to go underneath the station to the other side, but now it's just been blocked off. Now, there were no remnants of Enfield Station, however, what does obviously remain is, of course, Enfield Chase Station. At this point, we've got 25k remaining, still got a while to go, but so far I'm feeling pretty good, been pretty spot on. Alright.
Sorry mate, you local?
Say again, sir.
Local?
Where is it that you're looking for? So here we are at Gardens Hill Station, and this station is sometimes used as a terminus, and it's because you've got 3 platforms that's here. You've got the 2 that's in active use, and you've also got a 3rd bay platform. But did you know that there was a 4th platform that was in use? And now back in the day when that platform was in use, services used to go down to the former Broad Street and North Woolwich stations, and you also used to have services that went down to London Victoria. All right, 23.3 kilometres remaining. Coming to this part of the footpath here, this is one of the very few level crossings that's on the Hertford Loop. Now, the trains along here are once every half an hour, but it's so important to always stop, look and listen, babes. You never know what train is just going to suddenly come flying, you just never know. Because it is still a live, active railway, it's so important to always stop, look and listen, cross over as quick as possible, making no time for hesitation, not even looking at the view. As much as it's lovely, like, just don't be a And just like that, 21.1 kilometres remaining, which means that's about half a marathon remaining. That also means, because it's over a 30k run, we are 1/3 of the way in. Perfect. You see how I mentioned just a moment ago that you never know what is going to pass on the railway tracks? Just stay safe. Anyway, now this here is Crews Hill Station. A very interesting tidbit about this station is the fact that this is the most northerly station of London before it crosses into a different boundary. If I'm looking at it on a map, it's almost like on par with Watford, which I know belongs in Hertfordshire. But it's just fascinating to see where you've got Watford and then you've got Crews Hill, and then Crews Hill's in London, but then Watford isn't, and it's in like a different boundary. Yeah, I don't know. So that means at this point now we're going to be heading to our next station, which is Cuffley. We're now going to be running in Hertfordshire. So 20k remaining. Let's go. So, Crews Hill, lots of welcoming people in the area. However, if there's anything that Crews Hill has, it's an abundance of garden centres. What I want for you to do, like at the end of this video, or if you're playing this video and you're at your phone at the same time, I see you. Anyway, I want for you to Google around the Crews Hill area, just Google garden centre, and I just want for you to see the, just see the results. Just see the results. But up at this point, you just get some beautiful views. I mean, you've got the M25 just there, but we're just going to ignore her for a second. But around here, you've got all the beautiful fields and the trees, and just in the distance, you can see the railway viaduct. The views up here are just so terrible. See, this is the joys of running out in areas you don't know. Like, if I'd have not been out here, I wouldn't have known that this existed, and I wouldn't have been able to share this beautiful scenery with you. So, you're welcome, I guess. Again, just more terrible scenery. God, what is this? So Cuffley Station means officially we are now in Hertfordshire. So we've only got a few more stations left until we get to Hertford North. We've got 15.2 k's remaining. I know just north of this station here is a very special tunnel. But what's so special about it? You know the drill. Let's find out why. Let's get into it. Whatever my sayings are. All right, let's go look at this tunnel. Way to cut across. Is that alright? I seen the tarmac going on, I wasn't sure. No, you're alright, you're good, mate. Cheers, mate, thank you. I'm glad they let me through, otherwise I'd be absolutely mortified if they sent me back where I belong. This here is an air shaft, because directly below is the Ponsbourne Tunnel. It's actually the longest tunnel in the far eastern counties of England. I think it stands at about like just under 2 kilometres long. So, Ponsbourne Tunnel, directly below. sugar straight out of the sachet. I know it does look a bit weird, doesn't it? And it's because the sugar contains glucose, and because I feel myself crashing a little bit because I have been running for over 4 hours now. I'm in need of a bit of a pickup. So having the sugar as well as the energy gel just gives me the energy that I need. And now I feel great. There was quite the distance from Cuffley to here, but we're finally here at Bayford Station. Now at this point we've got one more station remaining until we get to the last station of the day, Hartford North. I will say the route from Cuffley to here, I would not recommend it. There were quite a few moments where I was running on the road, there was no pavement and it just felt a little bit dangerous. So if you do ever plan on doing this, just be very wary of that. But right now we've got 7.8 kilometres remaining until we get to the end, so let us keep it moving. Anyway, right, where do I need to go? I need to go straight on. On a bit of an unrelated side note, so we're at yet another viaduct, but back in 2018, I was with a band here, Phantom Isle, and I was shooting a behind the scenes music video for them, and the music video took place inside one of the arches of the viaduct. It just feels so weird to come back after however many years and revisit this place. It's yeah, I don't know, so much has changed. Alright, we've got 900 metres until the end. Perfect. So that run today, 35.55 kilometres. That was tough, but that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. But now officially that means I've ran the Great Northern Railway, at least on the London Rail map anyway. I think it'll be quite fun now that we've got a couple of operators under our belt to do a little comparison chart. So here on screen are the lines that I've run so far and how it compares to other operators. Can I English? Running Great Northern has been an absolute pleasure, so thank you so much to the staff and everybody at Great Northern. You're amazing. And stay tuned for next week where I run a brand new operator. Thank you so much again. If you like this type of content, click here to watch another video. Oh God, I am starving. I'm so hungry.